वेलकम टू स्टॉक मार्केट्स विद केआर। स्वागत है इस स्पेशल एपिसोड में। नाउ यू माइट हैव वॉच्ड और हर्ड द पॉडकास्ट दैट वी हैड विद शांतनु एंड उसका पहला एपिसोड ऑलरेडी हम लोग ने निकाल दिया था। हम लोग ने शांतनु की जर्नी के बारे में बात की थी। सो इन दिस स्पेशल वीडियो ही इज एक्चुअली वॉकिंग अस थ्रू हिज लाइव ट्रेड। और ऐसा ही नहीं कि कोई रैंडम ट्रेड उठा लिया है। दिस इज एक्चुअली वन ऑफ द हार्डेस्ट डेज वन कैन से इन रीसेंट टाइम्स। और उसके थर्सडे एक्सपायरी के ट्रेड्स लाइव शांतनु विल बी showing us what his thought process was, how he actually managed them, and what the final outcome was, and everything in between. So excited to have you here again, Shantanu. And
Thank you so much. And talking about yesterday's expiry, yes, it was one of the most difficult expiries I've traded because looking at the way the puts spiked, I saw my hedged option that was 37,200 put go from 5 rupees to 115 rupees. And
right,
yeah, I'm going to just take you through the whole day, how it went, and as to how I managed, my strangles and what exactly did happen. So yeah, let's jump into it.
great, that sounds good. I hope everyone's excited as well, and we can just dive in and we can look at everything. दोस्तों, बिफोर वी बिगिन, आई नो आप बहुत एक्साइटेड हो. आई जस्ट वांटेड टू से दैट दिस इज अ क्विक डिस्क्लेमर. नाइदर शांतनु नॉर मी आर सेबी रजिस्टर्ड. ये एडवाइस नहीं है. हम आपको कह नहीं रहे हैं कि ऐसे ट्रेड करो वैसे ट्रेड करो, बट यहाँ पर शांतनु सिर्फ उनके ट्रेड्स का एक्सप्लेनेशन दे रहे हैं. एंड आई फील दिस इज अ वेरी रेयर ओकेजन बिकॉज it's very rare for someone to share their adjustments, their entire mindset, their thought process, everything that happened on one of the trickiest expiries to trade. इसलिए बहुत ध्यान से देखना, वीडियो एंड तक देखना ज़रूर. और मैं एक चीज़ आपको कहूँगा that regardless of what you see in this video, I know it can be very exciting. बहुत एकदम मज़ेदार सी चीज़ लगी, आपके अंदर इंस्पिरेशन जाग जाएगा, I'm sure. बट एक चीज़ आप ध्यान रखना कि आपको आपके रिस्क के हिसाब से ट्रेड लेना है, राइट? शांतनु ये पॉइंट तक पहुंचते पहुंचते उनको काफ़ी समय लग गया, एंड दैट ही विल शेयर इन दी अदर एपिसोड्स. बट आपको समझना है कि आपका जो रिस्क है उसके ही हिसाब से आपको ट्रेड करना है. Do not try to get ahead of yourselves. The reason why I say this is because trading options is risky. So I don't want to take up any further time. प्लीज़ अभी आप एंजॉय कीजिए इस वीडियो को, एंड आई होप दैट यू विल लाइक इट अ लॉट, एंड आई होप दैट यू विल लर्न एज मच फ्रॉम इट एज आई डिड. एंड सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट, एंड एंजॉय.
I started, so the start itself was bad, to be honest. I started with, as you can see, I started with around 750 quantity. I started trading 37,800 put and 38,500 call. But if we look at the chart of Banknifty as well, here we can see that in the first 5 minutes itself 32,200 के आसपास open हुआ था.
बराबर.
And we saw a steep fall like 38,000 in the first 10 minutes itself. And वो 10 minutes के अंदर क्या हुआ कि the puts gained but the calls did not give up in any which way. So I was actually trading like I said पहले 37,800 put and 38,500 call. Here you can see I entered my 37,800 put at around 32 rupees and
Right.
my 38,500 call at around 30 rupees, correct?
Right.
So you can see here that the call has given up 5 rupees, but the put has considerably gained a lot. So I was actually already in a loss of, let's say, 7 to 8 points here. If you can see my M2M as well, यहाँ पे roughly around 5 to 6 points I was losing at this point of time.
Okay.
Then what I did is I rolled away my puts again. I re-entered my puts. I rolled away by, let's say, one strike, 37,700 put, and I entered that as 30. So I again, tried to manage my trade and made it neutral again. So then it was a sports ride after that. Then क्या हुआ कि 38,050 के आसपास आया बैंक निफ्टी, and then I rolled down again to 38,400 call. But
Okay.
what happened next was puts again were constantly gaining throughout and calls weren't giving up that much. So here you can see that I was again, somehow breaking even again. Like यहाँ पे around 1,000 rupees के आसपास I'm losing. And
Correct.
then eventually, I also came into the green for a while. And
Okay.
this is like 9:40, like hardly आधा घंटा भी हुआ था market खुले हुए, if you see.
Hmm.
And yeah, उसके बाद क्या हुआ that puts उसके बाद it was relatively a smoother ride, if you see. After rolling down my calls to 38,400, then I again had to roll them down to 38,200 because the stop loss in my put was, let's say, the swing high, which was around 64 or 65 rupees ke aaspas. And
Okay.
38,200. So at this point of time, normally what I do is I trade 30 rupees premiums on expiry.
Hmm.
But at this point of time, what I realized is, कि calls give up nahi kar rahe, and they have to give up sometime or the other, correct? So
Okay.
I started trading higher premiums, and that was a horrible mistake, I feel.
Okay.
37,800 put I sold at around 38 rupees ke aaspas.
Hmm.
And I'm already sitting with an M2M of minus 30,000 in that strike on the 750 quantity. Okay.
Right.
And so yeah, I entered 38,200. I sold that at 45 rupees. And my 37,800 put I was holding, I had re-entered it at 38 rupees, around about 38 rupees ke aaspas. And फिर my swing high stop loss was around 64 in this trade in my puts. And as we can see here, again, my stop loss in my puts again got hit. I take
Correct.
this ahead. थोड़ा और. Here, at this point of time, यहाँ पे if you see, वो एक spike के अंदर ही उड़ गया, and calls are right there and there. मतलब 45 का 44 पे trade हो रहा है, and puts have gained around 20 rupees. So at
Correct.
this point of time, I'm up 10,000 rupees. So it was minus, 6,000 plus 100 minus 10,000. And फिर उसके बाद what I did was I re-entered 37,700 put. Okay, here if you see, I again tried to make it neutral. I was like, I'm hardly like around 12 points in the negative, and expiry है तो थोड़ा aggressive रह सकते हैं यहाँ पे.
Okay.
So again, now at this point of time, I was not expecting Banknifty to break 38,000, but in this case, if we see here, it is already trading around 37,960. And
Hmm.
as far as I remember, Twitter पे मैंने देखा था, you had put up a poll, saying कि will Banknifty break 38,000, and I strongly voted no. So
Okay.
मेरा view तो काफी wrong जा रहा था because I was extremely bullish on the markets,
Correct.
and because I was expecting a breakout above 38,200, and we were very close. Overall trend देखा जाए तो last 3 weeks से भी काफी positive रहा है.
True.
So here again, I stayed in the trade जब तक manage हो पा रहा था, and my stop losses were also the same. I think here in my
Okay.
put it was I entered around 38 again, and call तो मैंने 45 से hold कर ही रखा था. ठीक है. So here in this video, you can see put का वापस मुझे लग रहा है कि stop loss hit होने ही वाला है, because my call had started giving up from 45, it came down to 40. Put वापस
Correct.
spike हो रहे थे. At this point of time, in this particular strike itself, I'm down around 50,000 rupees in this, but my overall M2M is around 7,000 in the negative.
Right.
So in 10 points in the negative. And here we see, कि मेरा वापस stop loss hit हो जाता है उसके ऊपर. This time my put stop loss was around 72 or 73 in this
Okay.
particular neutral. And we can see, कि Bank Nifty is constantly making newer lows, lower
Right.
lows जो थे.
Right.
So yeah, and then comes this spike, कि just takes away my stop loss in one go. And then my M2M goes to like minus 15,000, which is around 20 points in the negative. Here, if you see, सीधा 14,800 के आसपास negative चले जाता है, and my calls are right there, like 13 रुपए भी डीके नहीं हुआ था, not even 13 rupees. So at
Right.
this point of time, I was like, okay, I need to change my view. I can't stay with a rigid view, and I then made a decision that I will hold on to my calls. I will not enter puts again till 38,000 is taken out on the upside.
Okay.
So yeah, I decided to hold my 38,200 calls, and I was, I had to show some patience in this trade because calls were not giving up at all. In fact, if you see here, they had started to gain. 30 का low बनाया था, and then they again went till like 35, 38 के आसपास भी गए थे.
Right.
So yeah, in this case, I was around minus 16,000 के आसपास था मैं यहाँ पे. Yeah, this particular timestamp. 15,300 के आसपास. Then what I did is I held on to my calls because expiry hai, they have to, end worthless if that particular strike is not in the money. So,
True.
like you can see here in this case, Banknifty broke 37,800 as well. And at this point of time, my calls had started giving up.
Hmm.
Previous snap ke andar, it was trading around 34 or 35, but eventually it came down to like 20.
Right.
And the best part is here you see my hedge of 37,200, which I had bought at 5 rupees, is now currently trading at 18 rupees. So you can imagine the amount of spike, that the puts had seen. And I exited. One of the main reasons, that I came into the green was because of this, because my hedge itself gave me around 10 points. And I
Right.
was, fast enough to see this trading at around 15 because suddenly my M2M from minus 15,000 came till like, because my calls also started giving up, calls also started to give up, and then put also, you know, spike ho gaye the sare. So
Hmm.
at this point of time, I was again into the green. Yahan pe.
Correct.
So yeah, again, I was just holding on to calls. And then comes after Europe opens around 1 o'clock ke aspas, I decided to trade half the quantity size because Bank Nifty काफी volatile हो चुका था between 37,400 and 37,700 के बीच में. So
Right.
between these strikes काफी ज़्यादा volatile हो गया था. So I was like कि अब because at this point of time, if you see, my puts had also cooled off. Considerably cool off हो गया था. वो spike आ चुका था already. अब cool off हो गया था because 2 hours से it was just consolidating between 37,600 and 37,500 के बीच में.
Right.
मेरे हिसाब से तो लोग straddle play कर रहे थे, but I was still, कि काफी बार हमने देखा है एक्सपायरी पे कि वी शेप रिकवरी आ जाती है एंड डे हाई भी निकाल देता है.
Hmm.
Then at one point of time, I had to exit my 38,200 call. I exited it around 6.5 के आसपास. And afternoon में I entered this short triangle, जिसमें मेरा stop loss again hit हो जाता है. I was trading on 300 quantity size. I
Okay.
entered this at 40 combined premium of 44 rupees. If you see 21 and 23, 43.6 के आसपास, rounding it up to 44.
Right.
And then again, if you see here, my M2M at this point of time was when I exited my calls was 16,500 in the green. Correct. So here, if you see in this particular short triangle, what happened is my puts, they spiked. I again faced a loss of 10 points in this triangle, which comes around to 3,000 rupees के आसपास. So if you see कि calls give up in नहीं किए, but puts gain कर रहे हैं.
Right.
25, 26, and next moment they're at 40 within the next 10 seconds.
Correct.
So again, I was down to 11,800 at that point of time. And फिर उसके बाद what I did was I went relatively far away in puts. If you see, I used the spike to sell 37,200 put. 37,200 put, which was initially my hedge. मैं वो strike के ऊपर मेरा अब sell leg पहुंच गया था. So काफी ज़्यादा volatile था उस दिन तो. I sold this at around, as far as I remember, around 22 के आसपास मैंने इसको बेचा था.
Okay.
37 put around 300 quantity, and then I squared it off at around 11 or so, and then I again had to re-enter my 37,400 puts.
Okay.
जिसमें spike आ गया था 42, 43 के आसपास तक spike आ गया था, which was my swing high SL, and then I re-entered that. So yeah, that was the plan. I was very conservative in the second half as such. I mean, I'm trading half, less than my original quantity size. Because
Right.
the idea was not to make a loss considering the spike. So yeah, and then then what I did is I increased my quantity size because of the लगभग 220 हो गया था with 1 hour to go.
Okay.
I was on 37,700 call, and 37,400. That trade that I was talking about, 37,400 and 37 जो call था उसके अंदर, I exited that at break even again when my M2M was at day high. So now last hour, I was like कि zero तो जाना ही है दोनों को if these both strikes don't appear in the money.
Right.
So again, I entered this short triangle with 500 quantity size and not more than 40 rupees से ज़्यादा trade हुआ भी नहीं ये वाला premium if you go to see 37,700 call and 37,400 put. I was more worried about the puts to be honest because उस दिन calls का ज़्यादा tension नहीं आ रहा था. It was just the puts if you see that were expanding constantly.
Okay.
So again here at this point of time they both were trading at around 13 and 16 and इसका मैंने stop loss लगभग 38 के आसपास रखा था and here at this point of time are at around 226 I was 20k positive which was I was already making close to around 1% on this
Right.
particular day. So I was very happy with myself, कि अच्छा है बड़ा loss नहीं जा रहा है and 1% on expiries on such expiries is a good thing. So I was
Definitely.
relatively happier and satisfied कि हाँ भाई अच्छा जा रहा है. I don't want to lose at this point of time. So I was trailing very aggressively. And what I normally do on expiries, ये expiry के अंदर तो थोड़ा I had to break my rules and I traded high premiums, but I normally don't trade more than 30 rupees का premium. But
Okay.
वो eventually हो गया कि I was trading around 50 rupees के भी premium I did trade in this case, and it didn't give any results to be honest because वो constantly stop loss hit हो ही रहा था. I was constantly getting stopped out of my trade. So
Right.
yeah, I had decided कि if I see an M2M of around 24 to 25,000, I will just straight away exit.
Okay.
So yeah, that was pretty much the plan. And end में yeah, this is my last so I saw an M2M of around 24,000 and I just exited straight away यहाँ पे, if you see.
अच्छा.
23,977
Right.
exited. So I had actually also placed an order for 37,900 put buy, but I missed that by let's say around 5 rupees or so.
अच्छा.
Otherwise, उस दिन तो कुछ बात ही और होती. मेरा buying
Right.
के अंदर इतना हाथ है नहीं. Like, I'm not that confident when it comes to buying. I'm more comfortable
Okay.
when it comes to selling. So
Okay.
yeah, this was pretty much it as far as the expiry is concerned, and I was able to like make 1% out of it. If you
That's
see 37,800 put strike itself के अंदर around 64,000 rupees का loss गया था मुझे.
true.
And despite of this loss, I'm still like around 24,000 in the green. So I would say I managed it. ठीक है. I feel I could have managed it better if I would have stuck to my rules of let's say trading 30 rupees premium. But the thing that changed the game for me was holding on to my 38,200 calls because as far as I remember, 38,200 was the week high. And I was also bullish about that level, but since वो level कभी test हुआ ही नहीं, so I had मतलब held on to my calls. I had shorted
Right.
it around 45 के आसपास short किया था, and I was holding it till like 6 rupees. And the best part is, not waiting for zero is what I feel because here in this case, I don't know zero था if it will show you 37,700 call का chart.
Unlikely, I feel, but we can
Unlikely
try.
because
Yeah.
expiry के बाद वो हट जाता है. Yeah.
हाँ नहीं है.
So
Yeah.
अभी तो नहीं आएगा, 11th अगस्त का आएगा. बट मैंने एग्जिट किया था अराउंड लगभग 12 rupees के आसपास and in the next 3 minutes it made a high of 144.
Oh God, damn.
Yeah. So 37,700 calls भी काफी ज्यादा expand हो गए थे and in fact मैंने put मेरे higher price around 22 पे exit किया था 37,500 and 37,700 around 12 rupees पे exit किया था but over eye charts पे अगर देखोगे there was a spike of around 110 points in the position.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have again gone into negative if that
True.
was the case because around 20 points again वापस वहां पे चले जाते. And meanwhile puts ने इतना give up किया नहीं था. So it was constant managing लगता है and it would have been a different headache altogether managing that trade.
Right.
So yeah, this is how I traded the expiry.
That sounds
Relatively
super.
difficult.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like it's a lot of mental gymnastics in a way. कि मतलब सोचना
Yeah,
पड़ता है
any
क्या है and
true.
it's I feel at times like these, especially for those who are just starting out or who are very curious about option selling or even option buying for that matter, ultimately trading. I feel ऐसी सारी चीजें देखनी important है because you really see the fluctuations in your MTM. Or there's nothing better than these videos that actually show it. And it really goes to you need to have a view, stick with it, and have the patience to see it through. Varna
So
fir,
what I've realized is over the last 6 months is I don't really look at my M2M in terms of as an absolute manner के अंदर मैं नहीं देखता हूँ. Let's say 25,000 or 20,000. I compare it to the position size that I'm trading on.
right.
So on a quantity size of 750, this is like 32 points in strangles, which is pretty mediocre, I would say. I have captured around 54 points and 77 points as well on expiry days. But
Okay.
looking at the spike on the put side, 33 points is not bad, I feel. And
Right.
yeah, so I looked at it in terms of position size and how many points I've captured on the position size. Uh, Unfortunately, there is another account that I trade in. I trade in that account as well. So in that account, I was not able to, manage because I was holding around 100 quantity. Yeah, 1300 quantity. And for me, holding 1300 quantity just on the call side, वो मेरे में इतनी हिम्मत नहीं थी कि I could, hold on to it. So in that account, I ended flat,
Okay.
around 3 to 4,000 in the positive. But yeah, so in that account, I did not hold my calls. Like here in this case, you can see, I was holding on to calls from the 35 level से लेके ₹6 तक. So
Barabar.
yeah, it all depends on that position size and that mentality that you have towards your M2M as a.
That's true.
So, yeah.
That's true. It's again, all of these things is what takes time. ठीक है, तुम लोग समझ लो कि options क्या होते हैं. You understand strangles, straddles. You understand all the concepts on paper. But when it actually comes to taking a trade and putting in
Correct.
your own money, it becomes a different ball game. And I think that's something that many people don't understand until they actually do. So live example.
Correct. Absolutely.
That's great. That's great. So any
So yeah.
final
Uh,
thoughts, any tips for those who would want to trade such expiries?
yeah, live सामने ही है. If you see my 37,800 put here in this case, can you see my screen here?
Yes,
So I
yes.
had sold it at around 38 and I bought it at around 60 rupees.
Right.
And you look at the last traded price of it. It is trading at 230. Stop loss नहीं होगा तो क्या होगा? That is a straight away loss of 1.5 lakhs.
True.
On 750 quantity sizing, 200 points is 1.5 lakhs. Correct? Correct me if
Right.
I'm wrong. So 1.5 lakhs का M2M loss देखना इस दिन पे तो कुछ ज्यादा ही हो जाता.
That's true.
So
Sometimes
तो काफी
it's
लाइक स्टॉप लॉस इज इम्पोर्टेंट. लोग स्टॉप लॉस नहीं रखते हैं. लेट्स से लोगों को लगता है कि आई हैव एंटर्ड दिस 40 रुपीज ट्रायंगल एट 2 o'clock इन द आफ्टरनून. दे वर लाइक हाँ 99% प्रोबेबिलिटी है कि जीरो पे ही एंड होगा. एंड वो हुआ भी जीरो पे एंड. देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट इट. बट वो बीच में जो स्पाइक आया लेट्स से 37,700 कॉल का फ्रॉम 12 रुपीज टू 144 रुपीज. आप 750 क्वांटिटी पे आई डोंट थिंक 100 का स्पाइक आप देख पाओगे एम2 में. यू आर बाउंड टू एग्जिट दैट एट एनी कॉस्ट. वो पैनिक के अंदर इंसान एग्जिट कर ही देगा. Whereas if you
that's
look
true.
at my case, I had a stop loss in the system, so I was like, ठीक है, अगर stop loss hit भी हुआ तो क्या होगा? Max to max is what? I'll break even. So I was pretty much prepared for it, having my stop loss in the system, and stop loss is what saved me on this day.
True. Ultimately, I
So
feel people should understand, and when I say people, I mean I'm talking about everyone, including myself, कि हम लोग को पता नहीं है कि नेक्स्ट टिक कहाँ पे जाने वाली है.
correct,
Right?
correct,
we
absolutely.
we need to act based on the information that we have right now on the screen. अभी wishful thinking के हिसाब से अगर जाएंगे तो फिर तो the outcome can be very different in the wrong way. So
True. Very
I
true.
think it's very important. There's this saying that I always have on my screen that you can only play with the cards that you're dealt. अभी if you are given a certain set of cards, you can't be like, hey dealer भाई मेरे को दूसरे cards दे, मेरे को जीतने का है. So I feel it's that mindset that you've perfectly showcased here in this lovely series of video recordings that you managed to take during such an intense expiry. So thank you very much for that. And
most welcome, most welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me here and guiding you through the whole expiry day.
Thanks
It
for
was intense, I would say.
Yes, and thanks to your efforts, hopefully a lot of people will be able to see and experience the intensity of this and learn from it. So anyway, thanks Shantanu, and I hope our lovely viewers catch us in the other episodes as well. Again, अगर आपने नहीं देखा है पहला एपिसोड तो क्या कर रहे हो यार, देख लो पहला एपिसोड, जान लो कि हमारे साथ ये कौन आए हैं. And then I'm sure you would love to stick around for the other episodes as well. Anyway, आज के लिए इतना ही था. See you all in the next episodes. That's it from my side. And happy trading, happy analysis.